And then what was the whole story with Gary Vee? I know the infamous photo from his office. What was that about?
Yeah, so that was another outreach. I DM'd like some guy that customized sneakers, completely random. And he's like, reach out to my assistant Josh, he'll hook you up, like he'll get us on a scheduled interview. I'm like, okay, cool. DM Josh. Josh is a really cool kid. He goes, hey, like this guy isn't actually down to do the podcast. He's busy, whatever, not really a social media guy. He just posts his shoes. But he's like, I am starting to work at VaynerMedia this summer, and you guys are cool. Checked out the episode you did with whoever. Would love to, see if we could do an in-person interview in New York City at VaynerMedia. So we're like, oh shit, this is dope. So kept in touch with him. Wound up driving into New York City from upstate New York, and our friend Josh, who I'm still good friends with to this day, had us into VaynerMedia on a Saturday. It was completely empty. We toured it, did an interview in Gary's actual office, and that was super cool. Didn't get to meet Gary then, and then obviously we met him at VCon. He has like a conference every year, and I got to meet him and ask him a question and get on his social media somehow. That was cool.
Oh, I remember that video.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
You got
he
you got
posted you.
shit. Yeah, you posted the video. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bonjour, ça va? We are nous avec Christian Bonnier with Christian Bonnier from. I'm assuming, dude, your name is French, right? Like it's for sure French,
Yeah, I don't
right?
know any French though.
All right. Well, neither do I. From what everybody now knows. Anyway, Christian, it is a pleasure to have you here. Do the people a favor. Tell us all what enterprises you're involved with, and then we'll dive in. Like you're an interesting dude. You've done a lot of stuff. You're doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm super curious, like how you choose projects and what you've learned, and yeah, just give the people a little introduction.
Yeah, what's up, guys? So I run Client Ascension, obviously, main gig, coaching program, teaching people how to do cold email and learn sales. And then ListKit is our data software that basically sells B2B contact data to the people running cold email in our community. So it kind of like feeds into itself. And then I post TikToks literally for fun, just for the sake of it. Keeps my creative juices going. And then I started a hat brand out of the blue one day, and it did pretty well. So I just started scaling it on the side. So I've got like 3 or 4 different things going on, which is a lot, but it's a fun time. And yeah, talk about any of those things because I'm kind of scared of where Ryan's going to take it, but
I'll be gentle. Don't worry. I'll be very gentle. So to me, I really respect and admire people that create different things, right? So I think it's really cool, like what you've done. What made you like? What was the motivation? I mean, I know you said like you do TikToks for fun, but like there must be some like you're a smart guy, you're a thoughtful guy. So like, what's the thinking around what you get out of it? Why you chose to start doing it? Because like. I mean, you've got Client Ascension and ListKit, which are very B2B business oriented things, right? And then your TikTok content is very different, very like out of left field, right? Talking about how girls shouldn't work and tipping culture, and got the infamous Florida man news headline and everything like that. So what is it? I mean, I think for me, it's like on the outside looking at, it's really cool.
yeah.
But I'm curious what your thought process is, because like the things you do they're not accidental, right? For anybody who knows a little bit about you.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok was like, I started doing it to try to get leads for our B2B stuff, and it was like very forced and not fun. So decided to fire up I think a random video about like, I don't know what my first one was, but it went viral and I was like addicted. So just kept making videos based on things I was thinking about, and it kept working and just got more controversial and towed the line of what you should probably not say. And it was working, so yeah, that was kind of the
Cool.
the backstory on that. And now I just post like one a day. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes. So
Yeah. Is there anything that you do to like release the filters? Because like a lot of people online, especially like what I see on social media, and that is like it seems like people are being quite forced in terms of what they say. Like they're
Yeah.
almost like if I saw this hook from this person that's not like me at all, but I'll just say it because I want the same attention, and I think it's gonna work. So
Yeah.
yeah, is there anything that you do or that you've learned about yourself to be your like? It sounds tacky, but like be yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I just say whatever I'm thinking about, and I don't. A lot of people are very scared of judgment for some reason, but I couldn't. I don't really care at all. So it's like I just post whatever I think about, and even if it's a little offensive to some people, that's okay. So that's kind of how I got to that point. But yeah, like people are even scared to post like regular content, just like them talking very, very, very non-abrasive topics, just like any video at all. People are scared to post it. So once you get through that barrier of like, oh, what is this guy going to think about me, or what is this group of people going to say? You can. It's kind of freeing, you know.
Is there is there part of you that like likes the controversy? Like, are you trying to like push buttons and see like because I know for me like there's been times when I'll post something like just to play around
Stir
with
the
it a
pot.
little bit. Yeah, like to intentionally just be like, I wonder, like a kid playing with like a toy. Like, I wonder what's gonna happen when I poke it like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't go for the divisiveness, but it goes viral, and the comments are often hilarious. Like, just how triggered people get in like the comments of a video of a guy they don't know. So I know it's gonna work, and I don't get offended by it. I think it's funny, so I just kind of lean into it, and it's going good. So
Yeah.
I got a question for you. How is blowing up on Twitter a couple of times, getting featured on the Dave Portnoy podcast and stuff like that? How does that affect like living and generally like being known already now for like being Tampa's almost number one ambassador? How does that affect like the day to day when you walk down? Are people like stopping you in the street? Did you start having any stuff like that happen?
yeah, I've been stopped in Tampa a lot. I mean, guys are just like, "Yo, I love your videos." Some girls are like, "Oh, I love your Pilates stuff." So it happens, but it's kind of funny how fast like social media moves. Like when I was really popping off, like a couple months ago, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're that guy," and now it's kind of like less frequent. So it's funny how you have to stay relevant for so long. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten recognized a handful of times. I mean, I'm really trying to push for like establishments to recognize me so I get free shit because it's like I've made a couple like restaurants and bars blow up, or not blow up, but like get a bunch of views. So it's like just I'm gonna start my food influencer era pretty soon here.
Yeah.
There we go. We finally got that was the backstory.
That's
of
the
why
real.
Christian,
Nah,
right?
it's the
That's
real,
the real reason.
Dudes trying to get free food. That's the.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Do you ever get connected with Dave Portnoy? Because I know you were for a while. You were like.
No.
You were doing this like shotgunning, whatever it was,
Yeah.
every day until Dave Portnoy notices you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that this summer too because when I tried last year, he like went back in as the CEO of Barstool Sports, so it was like the perfectly wrong time for him to answer.
Right.
But this summer, he goes to my hometown every summer for the horse racing, so he'll be back up. I'll have a little bit more leverage with the video that he made of me, so it's like,
Yeah.
just keep doing it, and eventually he'll hopefully answer.
All right, I got a
like
very. This
What's,
is a very personal question on my side.
Go ahead, Tony. Okay.
Three Corners Pizza. What's the rating?
It's like a 7.1. It's not bad. It's not good. I love pizza, so it's like I've never had a slice of pizza that I hate. I'm like very very infrequently am I repulsed by pizza, so I'll eat it. It's like there if I need like a quick snack or drunk slice of pizza, but yeah.
Was that place that we went to in Tampa that was like right
that's-
across from the hotel, Tony? Okay.
Right below where where the event happened as well.
Yeah. Tell us about the hat brand. Because I know that's around like
Yeah.
to get to like more serious topics, right? Like it's a cool looking hat, right? But it's got a story behind why you chose the name. So talk to us about that, because I think that's
I mean, I just like had an idea one day and I was like, that'd be cool, but I didn't know how to start it at all. So I was like, all right, let's put this on the shelf for now, see what happens. And I tweeted and some dude DM'd me that was like, a former Barstool Sports like merch designer, and he's like, I just got laid off. Like I have a lot of free time to help. So I was like, all right, shit. Like I really need to go through with this because this is like a crazy opportunity. Go through with it, get him design. And the idea was just like I think it was a tweet one day about a shipping box. Someone said like the shipping box has really cool branding, like this would be a really cool streetwear brand. I was thinking about it and I was like, fragile, you handle a box gently if it says like fragile. So I'm like mental health, like being nice to people, make it a little bit like proprietary with the spelling, like redesign the wine glass. Um, so I just thought about it in my head, gave it off to the guy. He made it. It was fire. We ordered some samples, and it's about like mental health and just being nice to people. But I don't want it. I want it to stay like streetwear and not go like super like mental health. I feel like once you go down the like that rabbit hole, it just kind of makes the brand like a little bit. I want it to be like that cool, mysterious, like hip streetwear brand rather than like, oh, the mental health brand. You know what I mean? So it's
Right,
like
right.
it
Like
has a
something
cool,
that's like has like a cause behind
yeah,
it. Really, it's, yeah,
it
yeah,
has a cool undertone, but it's like
yeah.
I still want it to like, oh, that's a cool hat, not just like, oh, that's a mental health hat. So it's like a good mix of
Right,
both.
right.
If anyone asks like the story behind it, I have an answer for it as to why I designed it. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah,
Been toying around with some Facebook ads, and it's a little bit tricky, but it's been fun. So yeah,
yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah. What's interesting is like when you the the subtle undertone there. One of them was like, if you have a personal brand, you get just cool stuff that happens. Right.
oh
So
yeah,
like that guy would not have reached out to you had he not already been following you. Right. Like people
right,
don't offer things to people that have 20 followers on Twitter or whatever. Um, like we've got some crazy talent like inbound. Like our team comes from inbound.
yeah,
All of our clients come from inbound. We're trying to figure out like reliable cold sources, cold traffic, and whatever else.
yeah,
But it's I was talking to Andre about this as well, like, and he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, like all like you have like the amazing talent pool that comes in. It's like wants to work for you or wants to just like do projects like the hat or what are like other cool stuff." I just think it's like a very for me it was like somewhat unexpected. I've never gotten like free merch. I think you got to be like a hot chick to get free merch, but
yeah,
we've got some like really insane talent that's come in
yeah,
that I don't think would have wanted to work for us otherwise, or would have been very expensive otherwise if we didn't have some kind of audience or some kind of brand.
yeah. No, that's awesome. Who has wanted to work for you, bro? I wouldn't want to work for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it requires a certain amount of like intellect. So there's like a certain kind of person that really is
I'm just kidding.
like is drawn to like actually do certain things. So because we do like the real work, not the pretend fluffy, beta girl creative work. So it's the real stuff that makes the machinery run. So it's not for everybody. I totally get it. We would be pleased to have you, Christian. I don't know that we could afford you, but we would be pleased to have you.
I'm not a systems guy, bro.
You'd be a delight to have on any team. You just wouldn't be able to do what we do. we do. Yeah. So we're cold email and copy and stuff like that is like super. I think it's like there's certain offers that are more like implementation heavy.
Yeah,
And there's I would love to get to a point where we have a full-time creative team and whatever else, right? But I actually here's a question for you. Like I've always kind of wondered about this, right? So I get pitches from people that are not that want to do like free copy for us or want to do
yeah,
free whatever it is, right? And so they're oftentimes they don't have a big following on Twitter or X or whatever.
yeah,
You do. You're an excellent. I mean, for all the shit talk I give you and vice versa, you're an excellent writer. You're like a very, you're and it's your it's not just Twitter. It's like obviously TikTok. You've blown up on TikTok, which is a visual form, but it's still kind of copy, right? You're still
Yeah.
expressing an idea and like hitting emotions and all these other things, right? So do you think for someone to be a good copywriter, like them having a big audience go one and the same? Because like there's guys like Ben Bader, who's an excellent writer. Mason is like excellent writer, and those guys have big audiences. I don't know if that's like a coincidence. You do as well. Like you have, you're a great writer and you have a big audience. Do you think it's like the ultimate test of a copywriter is to have a large audience? Like, can you be a good copywriter without a large audience in some platform?
Yeah, I mean, I get you can be a great writer with no audience, but it's just like I guess it's really hard to consistently write if you're not getting like feedback from people. Because if I put out like a good tweet or a good thread or a good TikTok video that I scripted up, it'll do really well, and I'll be like, "Whoa, wow, that was really cool!" Like that feedback loop is there, and it just makes you want to keep going and keep posting. But it's like if you have no followers and you write the best thread of all time and it gets one like, you're like, "Well, this is kind of discouraging," and you're probably not gonna stay with it for as long.
Yeah.
I think I read something. It was like the best writers of all time. Something about how like the best writers of all time literally wrote for years with like no audience because there was no social media back in the day, and they were just like writing really good books. Like, actually, it was like I think it was Charles Dickens or somebody wrote all his books, published all of his classic books, and they didn't get like worldwide acclaim until like 100 years after he died. So it's like,
what? Really?
yeah, I think it was something like that where like his work wasn't appreciated when he was alive, and that's why social media is so powerful because you can get
It's because you get
appreciation in the
instant
same hour. Yeah,
Right.
which is pretty crazy. So you don't need a good following to be a good writer, but if you just keep posting, you're eventually going to hit the point where you have the audience to give you that feedback loop of this was good content, this was not, this is how I get better, stuff like that. So.
I know you guys had a podcast. You went to Gary Vee. How did that whole content thing start for you? Like when does Christian start thinking about, all right, let me try to get an audience?
It started on Twitter back when we were like 2021-ish. Like I think Andre and I were our friend Nick Rogers, he was a client ascension coach. He's a good friend. He runs a really good agency. He kept telling us like, you guys need to write. You need to be on Twitter. This is where I'm getting all my business. So like we just got on Twitter, started writing, and basically like I was ghostwriting for Andre, and I was just like posting threads on Andre's account, ghostwriting as we were growing our agency. Basically tracking like, here's how we're growing our agency, here's some cold email tactics, here's our hiring strategy, like here's our sales strategy, and just kept writing and putting out content and being very authentic with what we were talking about as we were growing from like 0 to 20K. And people started respecting that and really, appreciated it, and it just started getting traction. And then Andre got to a good point with his account. I started growing my own account. So we were like growing a Twitter account in tandem with our agency, right? So it was like a really good little mix of actual business success with like growth on social media. So that's how that kind of happened.
But what didn't? So wait, hold on a second. I thought you guys had a podcast in university first.
Oh yeah, I mean we had a podcast in like freshman year of college. So that was like 2018. We were interviewing like Neil Patel and who else did we get? Brad Lee, a bunch of big names. But we didn't really. It had an audience, but it wasn't like producing anything. Like we were just putting out episodes every week and posting to our 2 followers on Instagram. Like it wasn't a lot, right? Because there were no short form reels back then. So yeah, that kind of got us into the content game and got us really hooked on like podcasting, but that didn't produce much. The inflection point was when we got on Twitter and started like posting our agency stuff.
Yeah, but how do you get like Neil Patel on a podcast?
We just reached out from our. Okay, so this is a really good trick. If you have an EDU email, like a college email, and you reach out from it, you're going to get a lot of replies. That's probably a cold email trick in there somewhere, but
they're probably makes me want to go buy a bunch of.
Yeah.
I think who was we were talking to somebody recently who had like a like a hack for this where you could effectively. I'm trying to remember who this is, and Christian, you probably know them too, but I don't remember who it was. Probably some of the cold email people that we collectively know, right? And somebody was saying how you could basically start up like a fake university and not only get EDUs, but like also
Get like the cheap
really cheap, yeah, from like Microsoft or something, like hundreds of email accounts because they think you're a university, right? So they're like, well, yeah, of course you need 10,000 student accounts.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Because like that's the reason they answered was like, oh, they're college freshmen. Sure, I'll hop on with them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tony, do you want to start? Do you want to start a high school, Tony? We should just start a school.
I wonder why, Ryan.
Actually, a buddy of mine who actually you would really like, Christian. Has a similar character traits, similar unfiltered character traits. Him and a mutual friend. This is Tom and Mike. Tony. They have like a coaching program, right? Teaching writing online. Like it's a biz op, right? How to make money as an online writer, and they looked into like basically registering as an online school to get so that the like Veterans Affairs would pay for their course fee or something like that. So yeah, they never got it. You know, they didn't get approved as an accredited university. But these are just like two friends of mine that live here in town, like these American guys, and it's like if Klein Ascension was registered as like an accredited university.
Sounds like a hack.
Right. So I'm not saying you should do this, but there's people on the internet that try these things.
That's hilarious, dude. Where are you right now?
Tbilisi, Georgia. And Tony's in Zagreb, Croatia. But actually moving to Croatia in like the next couple months. So
nice.
Sent in the visa application like a week and a half ago. So yeah.
It was a tough sell.
Should be sweet. Yeah, it was a tough sell. Yeah, Tony's going to be my Croatian wife. So it's trying to
marrying me for
who
visa
was it we
purposes?
talked to was it yesterday that like a business partner is more important than a spouse? So I'm like going to lean in. I'm going to lean into that hard.
Wow.
And then yeah, Christian, you can come visit, dude. And yeah, I don't think Tony's wife or my girlfriend would mind at all. Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm on my way.
Yeah, dude. Come for Yacht Week.
What is that?
Yacht Week? Oh, dude. Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of people that rock. Oh, when? Oh, July? I don't know. Tony, you would know, Tony.
July.
Is it July?
All
yeah,
right.
it's like super nice, Adriatic. People
Nice.
hang on boats and yeah. It's more. I will say, like you boys are a little younger than me. It's more for your generation than mine, I think. But there's like a certain age where you can't hang out.
That.
Like
you said that.
I can't really party with like too many people that are 22 that are not like my direct friends already. Because like I'm like the weird old guy. So
Hey, young people.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, buckaroos. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I have to like throw in the old like cap or no, like so like I need to have the lingo. Oh, totes or whatever. I don't know.
No, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah. What's the
That's enough.
No, is that too much? Yeah. I
Oh,
start to like
no, don't do
totes.
No.
Totes. When I was in university, the people that were like a few years younger than me used to say obvi. I'm like that sounds stupid. Like it's short for obvious. Like it's just
Yeah,
dumb.
no.
Yeah.
I want to go to Oktoberfest though. So
Oh yeah.
Munich. All right, that's like
Yeah.
a couple of hours drive north of where I'm from. It's like a 5-hour drive.
yeah, I want to
Could
go
be
there with
moved.
the Irish CA lads. Have a
Oh
day.
boy.
Oh shit! Oh dude, you can't go with Irish people. That'd be just a shit show.
You went last year though, right?
Yeah, it was insane. That's why I want to go back.
How far in advance? Like you must have you got to book that stuff pretty far in advance to get lodging in Munich, right?
My friends actually had it planned, and they added me into the itinerary like.
Oh,
a
there you
month
go.
before.
Yeah. There you go.
But no, I mean,
Yeah.
all you have to do is lock down an Airbnb, and then like it's a fairground, so there's not like tickets.
Right. Yeah, you just gotta get the Airbnb. Like if you have friends that can lock down the Airbnb like early enough, or if you I guess pay more, then it's all good.
Yeah.
Back when I was traveling, like I was like a poor, like broke student, so I didn't have money for the extra nice Airbnbs. So yeah, you gotta, but yeah, you got a business, man. Like you're good to go. I'm sure you just book it as
Yep.
normal, and you just pay more money than normal times. Yeah.
I got a question building on
yeah.
the podcast. How did you get Gronk on? How did you get like some of these aside from like Neil
Oh,
Patel? But like, what's that story?
we didn't get Gronk on, but we got this guy named Adam Weitzman, who's like a billionaire scrap metal guy who just somehow knows everybody. Kind of sus, honestly, but he we had him on, and then he invited us to a dinner at a basketball game, like a basketball game, and then a dinner. And then the day before, he's like, football. We're like, yeah. He's like, the Gronkowski family's coming, and we're like on the phone, like, oh, cool. While we're like freaking out in the car. So we hung up the phone, went crazy, and then went to the game, and then went to dinner. And sure enough, Gronk and his brothers and his dad walked in and had dinner with those guys, and it was insane. But that was that. And then, yeah, like I said, with the interviews, we would literally sit down and reach out to like 50 people a day that we wanted to have on the show, just DMing like anyone we could think of, emailing anyone we could think of. And that was like the OG cold email. It was like 2018 emailing people that we wanted on our show, and send 50 DMs a day, get one reply a day. That's still a pretty good lineup of people. So
Yeah, you just need one. I mean, no one cares that you had to email 50 people and one replied. They just see the one, right? That's all. Right, that's all that matters.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep.
And then what was the whole story with Gary Vee? I know the infamous photo from his office. What was that about?
Yeah, so that was another outreach. I DM'd like some guy that customized sneakers, completely random, and he's like, reach out to my assistant Josh. He'll hook you up. Like he'll get us on a scheduled interview. I'm like, okay, cool. DM Josh. Josh is a really cool kid. He goes, hey, like this guy isn't actually down to do the podcast. He's busy, whatever. Not really a social media guy. He just posts his shoes. But he's like, I am starting to work at VaynerMedia this summer, and you guys are cool. Checked out the episode you did with whoever. Would love to, see if we could do an in-person interview in New York City at VaynerMedia. So we're like, oh shit, this is dope. So kept in touch with him. Wound up driving into New York City from upstate New York, and our friend Josh, who I'm still good friends with to this day, had us into VaynerMedia on a Saturday. It was completely empty. We toured it, did an interview in Gary's actual office, and that was super cool. Didn't get to meet Gary then. And then obviously we met him at VCon. He has like a conference every year, and I got to meet him and ask him a question and get on his social media somehow. That was cool.
Oh, I remember that video.
Yeah.
He posted you.
Shit, yeah, he posted the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like if I remember correctly, didn't someone say like you're not allowed to talk to Gary, like you have 5 seconds with Gary and just shake his hand and leave, and you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna ask him like a really
Yeah,
deep.
they're like,
deep
yeah, just
question.
like get a picture and move on. And I was like, Gary, 1 second.
Right.
And then I asked him, and of course he just like broke the rule and just kept going. So it was cool.
Right. Yeah. What did you ask him again? What did he? Yeah. What did you?
I just asked him like, how do I avoid the comparison game? Like, I'm in a very successful spot in my life at my age, but I'm surrounded by really high level people. Like, how do I just how do I focus on myself? Because I wanted to hear what he would say, and I knew that it would be like a classic Gary rant. So he went on a rant. He was like, you're more handsome than all these guys. Like, I was like, okay.
You're better, and Christian's like, oh no, stop it, no, don't make his ego even bigger. What are your thoughts? I mean, for you, Christian? What are your thoughts on the comparison game right now?
I think it's like if you compare, like there's always somebody that's going to be richer, taller, more endowed, like there's always somebody that has like more of what you want, no matter what. Even if you're a billionaire, like Jeff Bezos could be like, "Oh, Elon Musk is richer than me now. I feel insecure." It's like there's really no end game to that. So I kind of realized like there's not if you're doing as much as you can to keep growing, like there's not really a point to compare what other people are doing, if that makes sense. yeah, so I just kind of focus on myself. Like I've met people that have way more money than me. I've gone out to dinner with them, gone out to drinks with them, and they're just like a very boring person that I would not want to be. So it's like, all
Mm.
right, you know, money's great. It'll come. I'm young. I'll make more money in my life, but I'm not going to be jealous about this dude because he has more money than me, even though I would never want to switch places with him, right?
Yeah. The controversial thought I have is like, what's interesting is there's a lot of people that I think subconsciously believe that everybody is equal. So like, oh sure, Christian has this like really cool hat brand, and he's got a fame. You know, he got famous on TikTok, and he's met all these people. But I bet he's secretly, miserable, and I bet he secretly has no friends, and he's probably a dick,
Yeah.
right? So they almost like make up a story of like, yeah, sure, like to even the playing field, like, oh yeah, Jeff Bezos is got a lot of money, but like, oh his wife divorced him, so he's probably terrible with like people, right? And so my thinking there is like I like to like logic things out, right? And so what I realize is like if you have to fundamentally believe that other people are better than you, because if you don't, then you fundamentally have to believe that you cannot be better than you, right? So you have to believe that like if you get in better shape, then you like lose all your friends, or if you get more money, then you become more boring, or if you launch a cool hat brand that you've like neglected your business partners, or what, like you'd have to kind of like both of those stories have to be the same, right?
Yeah.
Because and so you have to almost like have this idea that yeah, maybe Jeff Bezos has a bunch of money, and maybe he's also like a super nice guy when you actually meet him, and maybe he's also like yeah. Sure, maybe Mackenzie divorced him, like best investment decision of all time, right? So number one investor in the world, Mackenzie Scott. I don't know if you've seen that graph, right? Of like where she got married to and where she divorced, like it was ultimate like buy low sell high. No, just anyways. But
It's like keeping score, right? I was at the Tony Robbins Dean Graziosi event last week, and
yeah,
Dean was talking about how like the worst thing you can do in your life is keep score. Like me and my wife have a great relationship. If like I come home late, she could not make breakfast the next day to get back at me and even the playing field. Or your business
right,
partner, like your partner goes to Real Week and doesn't work for a week. Like I'm not going to work for a week because I'll even the playing field, right? That's like
right.
keeping score is like the worst thing you can do in your life, just because it's never going to be balanced. Like you have to be all the relationships you have shouldn't be like a scoreboard. It should just be like this is my relationship, and sometimes it's not even, and sometimes I do more than the other person, sometimes they do less than me, or like there's always going to be that ebb and flow of like people that are around you. So it's like instead of just trying to always be even on your scoreboard, just um, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, my thinking is like trying to be as better as well as good as I can for myself, right? So like and there's been times when like there's been times in my life where I've been in much better shape than I am now. But like I can't look at that as like I'm getting worse, or like or look at somebody else and go, well, I'm hot shit because 10 years ago I achieved this other thing and you haven't done that yet. Because like the whole like comparison game is very with the exception of like I think it's really helpful to look at it as like inspiration, to go, oh, Christian made this like awesome hat brand, oh that's so cool, like that's so creative, like I wonder if I can take lessons from him and launch the t-shirt brand or the mugs or the events or whatever else that's like really cool, right? And using other people as like, if he can do it, that must be possible, therefore I should do it too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if there's like a lot of people that are really successful are no more capable than you. They've just been around longer and maybe got lucky or had a big break, but there's something that they're doing that you can easily replicate. So
Yeah.
But you're in a cool spot where you both have a business where you got business partners, and you have a business now, the hat brand, where you're a solo founder. But now you've tasted both. What's like the main difference that you're experiencing? Are you liking one better than the other?
Um, I mean, the hat brand's like really just for it's like a side fun thing right now, like maybe 20-30 minutes a day versus like Liskit Klein Ascension is like 8 or 9 hours a day. So it's like the hat brand's fun because ecom is like there's no fulfillment. Like you just send them the hat, it's like okay, there you go, thanks, and that's it. That's been pretty fun, and just like seeing people wear it's cool. But yeah, I mean, Klein Ascension and Liskit is still the the impact vehicle where I'm able to like help a lot of people and grow their business and just leave a better impact. So it's a good mix of creativity with like with TikTok with my hats where I can like be really creative and outside the box, and then Client Ascension and List Kit where it's kind of like systemized creativity where I'm doing the same things over and over for people. Um, if that makes sense to help them out. So it's like a really good balance throughout the day.
Got it. How does it actually like what how does the dichotomy of like the partnerships work? And I know we asked this question, same thing goes for
Yeah,
like we asked
so
this question
I
to
mean,
Andre as well.
we all have a lot to do because it's a large organization, but I do. So Andre's the ops guy. He does hiring, systems, payroll, all that stuff. Dan is like the head of the sales team. He just takes sales calls, helps the sales team close more deals. Daniel is like the guru. He's like the face. He does all the media buying. He does like the ads, and then I do like front end and back end marketing. So like I help our students obviously with their cold emails. I help them with their offers. I do. We have a done for you offer at ListKit now where we build a cold email system for you. I write all the copy for those. We get like two or three of those a day or a week sometimes. And then I do my YouTube for marketing. I manage ListKit's email list. I manage ListKit's cold email campaigns. I have a big say in like ListKit's design and how to optimize like the landing page and conversion rates. Um, Obviously Twitter. So yeah, it's like for me, I'm like a Swiss Army knife of like front end, back end, marketing, fulfillment, copy, email list, content, YouTube. So it's a good balance. I mean, we all have a lot to do. Like I said, it's not like four guys are running like a 20K per month business where we have like overlapping responsibilities. Like it's all very segmented out based on what we're good at and what we're doing. So yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Brian. You got any more?
Oh man, I mean, well, Christian's like, there's not very many facets to your personality, so it's pretty pretty tapped. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're a fascinating person, Christian. We love you. We love you, buddy. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if I have questions necessarily. It's just kind of an interesting conversation. Was so was Knowledge X your first like business?
Yeah, no. Actually, we started, so we had a, well, mine, yes. We had in college, we had this business called Incubate Media, which no one knows about. It was like a full service marketing agency for like local business. We helped with like web design, podcast creation, all this random shit. And that ended kind of sour because myself and one other person like thought we had equity and someone else didn't think it, and it just kind of fizzled out. So
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah, that was like a college summer thing. So it was a great experience, and that's what got me tied in with Andre and Dan. But yeah, that was also not very scalable, just because like we were doing a million different things for like $800 a month. It was crazy, but that was like the first business venture I was involved in, sort of. So that was good. And then Knowledge X was the what is it? The Phoenix, like something dies and his Knowledge X was
Oh, rising out of the phoenix. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Knowledge X was
yeah.
reborn, and that's how.
That's right. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
But Knowledge X was honestly shitty at first. The reason it's called Knowledge X is because we were helping knowledge experts launch a coaching program. So
Oh.
yeah,
Okay. So it completely like you pivoted hard.
yeah,
Oh. Okay.
yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So it was
So
like we were
okay.
helping knowledge experts, and it wasn't really working because we couldn't sign any clients, and we had no social proof, and we didn't know proper marketing. So
Yeah.
like we had a good idea in theory, but we were running ads, and nobody was closing, and it just wasn't working. So that was our first start, and then we discovered cold email, Daniel, Twitter, and that was when we just did a hard pivot into cold email and realized it was a lot easier, and we were better at it. So that was how we got that going.
Huh. Yeah. I mean the I guess the domain name makes sense now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting how like I mean it doesn't matter how much marketing you do if you can't get clients like there's no 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 social proof, no case studies. Like you're kind of pooched, right?
Yeah, it was not fun.
How big did Knowledge X get at the top?
100K a month, but we hit like 100K and then it came back down to like 85 after churn. So 100K at the peak, but that was like max effort, like grind set, working our balls off, like three of us. So not a fun 100K per month, and that's why we kind of pivoted into coaching and ListKit because it's a much more leveraged vehicle of making money.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool, good stuff. Well, Christian, we got a question now we ask everyone is what should we name the podcast? Because this is so far the unnamed podcast.
Yeah, we don't have a name for the podcast. And we like to just do this for free consulting because you're the creative guy.
That's funny. I don't know. You guys have a good name. You guys can think of a good name. I don't know how PC you want to make the name, but
no, just do whatever's on your heart.
We don't have HR. We don't have HR.
We don't have HR. Yeah.
I mean, you can make
just
it
say
like
it.
Nah.
Just say it. Say
I feel like
what's on your
it would
mind.
just be like the autistic podcast. You can't do that.
The what?
Like the autistic operator podcast.
Well, who does it refer to? Me or Ryan?
Yeah. Who are we talking about here?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
The autistic Slavic operator.
Right. Then it'd be really clear.
There we go.
The Yacht Week podcast. You guys can film on
The
Yacht
Yacht Week.
The Yacht Week podcast. Yeah.
Could be the move. Christian, where should people reach out to you?
Twitter is CB Writes Copy. Instagram is ChristianB.23. TikTok is CB Writes Copy. Those are my main socials. Not giving you my phone number, so yeah.
Well, it depends on your gender, age range, length of hair, and body mass index, probably, right?
Right. Well,
Right.
I also like to. You got to nurture the leads, so you get them on the Instagram. You post a couple stories. You see them like your story. You hit them with the DM, and then you get
Right. You get him in the content funnel. I had a buddy who used to work for BCG or Deloitte or one of those like consulting companies, right? And he like actually that was his like he very much had a funnel for chicks. It was like, well, like she followed me and like I got a DM from her and I got her phone number and we went out one time and and on and on and on as you would imagine. So, it's not a bad strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There we go. Christian, appreciate you having on. Oh, also, question, who should we have next? Who should we have next?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
the next guest?
I nominate. Oh, dude, you should interview Max Sturdivant. I love that kid. That's a good interview.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, that's a good show.
All right, Max, you're going to be up next.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Christian, appreciate
Max
you
is up
having me on.
next. All right.
That's the
Yeah,
Autistic
thanks,
Operator podcast.
There we go.
All right.